So I've been wanting to do a story time for a while, but there was just one teensy weensy problem. I can't draw! So yeah, if the stock images start rolling in, that's why. Alright, so check it. It's senior year, and by this point, I had kinda accepted that nothing romantic was gonna happen with me, so I was mainly just focusing on like my sport and just finishing high school. And the best way to finish high school is taking easy classes. And oceanography, thank you. My teacher, goated. Open note testing, it was immaculate. So yeah, love that class. And in that class, I sat behind this girl who we're gonna call Lena. Now, Lena was a junior while I was a senior. She was about my height. Nothing crazy about her build or anything like that. But she was a white Hispanic, which is funny because I speak a little Spanish. However, my Spanish is trash. But her Spanish is also trash. Yet she would dog on me about my Spanish being trash. Like, ¿Qué pasó, amiga? Nosotros basura. We suck. We are trash. We are not getting out the trash. I didn't talk to her first quarter, mainly just because I had a dude next to me who I was chill with, but that dude dipped and left me by myself because even though the class was easy, it was boring, and he said, bunk this, I'm out, so he left, and I still didn't talk to her, mainly just because I was chilling. Like I said, I kind of accepted. Until our mutual friend, Addie, introduced us at a football game, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're in my oceanography, and she's like, yeah, I know, you sit behind me. And I was like, yeah, I do. But she had a man, and I was like, okay, well, obviously nothing's gonna happen, so I'm just gonna have fun. And I did have fun that night. And then when we got back to class, nothing changed. Until one day in class, where I'm just chilling, I'm minding my business, until Lena walks in, sits at her desk, and starts popping off at her friend about some dude. And this dude ain't her boyfriend. And, I'm not trying to eavesdrop, but I'm low-key trying to eavesdrop because there's nothing going on in this class. And I'm hearing certain phrases, certain words, certain trigger words, like Winter Soldier. And I hear enough of these, and I'm like, I know who she's talking about. And so I ask her later on about it, and she's like, yeah, I'm talking about him. And him we're gonna call Deviant, because Deviant did some pretty messed up things. So messed up, he got expelled. And I'm like, how do you know Deviant? And she's like, you know that story about the girlfriend? And I'm like, yeah. And she was like, I was the girlfriend. And I was like, oh, that's your ex? And she's like, yeah. And so over time, it becomes kind of regular for us to just talk about Deviant. And who knew talking about a weirdo would be so beneficial to me? And I know some people are like, dude, why are you talking with her about her ex, man? That's not the move. And you know what I gotta say about that? I was bored, bro. I need some lore to tell my kids, alright? So, if it means just grabbing popcorn and sitting down, I'm gonna do that, bro. And we were chilling like that for like the next 4 months. That's how we kind of got to know each other. In the midst of that, her and her boyfriend broke up. I got her socials. But no funny business was had. At least not intentionally, because I was actually on a call with her for a whole 2.5 hours. And yeah, after that call, I'm like, well, that was different. Okay. Now, fast forward to February, and I was bored. And so I think who I want to hang out with, and I realized I haven't hung out with Addie in a while. And, fun girls deserve love too. We've been friends since sophomore year, ever since we figured our stuff out. And we had already hung out before at the mall, so I was like, let's switch it up. Let's hang out at my house. And then I was like, wait, my mother. I don't want her overreacting to this, I don't want her thinking one thing when it's clearly not that. So I'm like, how do I defuse the possible bomb I just planted? And I think maybe I should invite someone else, but obviously I'm not going to invite another dude that Addie doesn't know. So I'm like, who would Addie know that I'm kind of cool with, that I would be willing to spend? Yeah, so I invite Lena to the hangout. She reluctantly says yes, but it would be our first time hanging out, and I have a mutual friend of ours, Addie, at the same spot. So, I'm smiling about this until I realize this does absolutely nothing for my mother and father, and this actually looks worse than it began with. So, live action bomb defusing, but at this point, I have to see it through for the plot. And speaking of the plot, that title was clickbait. It's not that type of video. You could log off now. You so freaky ass nigga. So the day comes. Addie arrives first. I jump scare her, and then Lena comes. And Lena was like, "How long are we gonna be here? I thought we were gonna be here for 1 hour." Yeah, she was about to eat those words because we start with darts. They beat me at darts, and I'm like, okay, okay, it's like that, and they rubbing it in. I'm talking straight rage bait. They out there rubbing it in, and I'm like, okay, be like that. Yeah, I'm the host. No, dunk on the host. Oh, it's fine. We go inside, and I say, hey, let's hop on the sticks, the controller, the game. And they're a little hesitant. And I'm like, nah, we could take it a little easy. Let's hop on the Wii U. Some of you kids may not even know what a Wii U is, and that's fine. But you just missed a great part of childhood. So we hop on the Wii U, and bro, what happens next? It's straight PTA, bro. I'm out there whooping, bro, handing out L's. We hop on Wii boxing, bam, left, right, good night, bro. They weren't touching me in that. We hop on Wii tennis. Lena said, oh, I play tennis. Bro, I was hitting that ball across the court, bro. I was out there whooping, bro. Straight L, giving to them on that one. And then we play bowling. And I don't remember who won bowling. I think it was me, though, Lynn. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, and then after that, I'm like, hey, let's switch it over to Nintendo Land, because Nintendo Land is also goated. And first we hop on the Mario game where you have to dodge the other people, and I'm the dodger. And first round, well, weave, dodge, juke. Bro, I'm hitting prime running back moves, prime Marshawn Lynch, prime LaShawn McCoy, prime Saquon Barkley. They could not touch me. I was him. And then on the other side, when I had to tackle him, bro, I turned into Ray Lewis. Man, you should have seen me out there. I was like a heat-seeking missile, or maybe like a heat-seeking mayonnaise, the way I tracked them down. They could not escape, man. 9 letters, 1 word, boomstick. Now, at this point, let me just say the vibes were right. The vibes were immaculate. The vibes were vibing, because we were vibing. And I gotta kind of thank that to the 2 girls, 1 guy combo, mainly just because it sounds bad. It does. It does really sound bad. But as the guy, you're not doing anything crazy. I'm not gonna lie. You're in survival mode. You do not want to be a legend that is told to the future generations. So you try to survive. And as the 2 girls, there's another girl there, so you kind of can relax a little bit and, show a bit more personality and just have more fun. And that's what ended up happening. The best part, though, was the fact, honestly, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do this again in my entire life. I was able to make 2 girls at the same time, 2v1, watch WWE. I was outvoted, yet I still got my way. And bro, I mess with WWE so heavy, it's not that popular for some people. So, like, the fact that I was able to slowly inch them into it, and I was able to convince them, and they low-key got invested at the end. Like, maybe not at first, but they got invested. And on top of all that, bro, I had a bed mattress on the floor out for a YouTube video that I filmed, like, early on in the day. And when they came in, they was like, mayonnaise, what's that? And I was like, oh, it's just a bed mattress. And they were like, so the sex mattress. What? The sex mattress. No. It's not the sex mattress. No. The sex mattress. Some weirdos I invited over. But anyways, we were watching WWE. Some dude performed a move, and I was like, yo, that's crazy, right? And he's like, it's not that crazy. And it's like, let's go do it then on the mattress. And they're like, on the sex mattress. And I'm like, don't call it that. And then I hit a suplex. And then they're like, damn. And then eventually, maybe after a few power bombs, a few spears, we then transition over to a straight up pillow fight. Left, right, with pillows. Left, right, uppercut, weave, bob, left, right. With pillows, all consensual. I'm being so for real. I was chilling on the couch at points, and they just attacked me, bro. And I was in self-defense. Like, I felt so righteous. It felt so good to legally fight back with pillows, and it was just perfect. Oh my god. Almost brings me tears. Oh. Anyways, that was basically the night. We had s'mores, the whole thing was chill, and I waved them off, they went home, walked to their cars, and I was there on my couch, recognizing what had just happened. And then I realized, Addie, we had been cool for a while, so there was really no question on what we were. But with Lena, like, I saw a different side to her, because when she was inside the classroom, she was a little more mopey, just a little more static. But then on the call, it kind of clicked. And then here, when, like, all cards were on the table, I just kind of caught something. And I didn't catch a cold. I might have caught... Thank you for watching the video, and if you want a part 2 of how this story concludes at prom, then hit like and subscribe. See ya.